Okay, let's go.
Most people come to Vietnam because it's affordable, and the moment I landed here, I kept wondering, is that really the reason people fall in love with this country? Well, I guess it's time to find out. Ciao people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Natalie Nayak, and today we have arrived in one of the most beautiful countries of Southeast Asia. Welcome to Vietnam. If you didn't know, then Vietnam is the second largest coffee producer in the world after Brazil, and no wonder as soon as you enter into the airport, you get this delicious aroma of coffee, and you actually will walk up to the store and buy one coffee for yourself. And that's what exactly I did. I picked up the salted caramel condensed milk coffee, and it tastes super delicious. I've just landed in Vietnam, and this already feels very different from what I had imagined. Over the next few days, I'll be traveling through different parts of the country, exploring food, culture, and everyday life, not just the tourist highlights. This is the beginning of my Vietnam journey, and I'm really curious to see how it unfolds. Vietnam, officially known as the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, is home to nearly 100 million people. और अगर मैप पे देखो तो ये कंट्री बिल्कुल एक एस शेप्ड नूडल जैसी लगती है, stretching from the mountains in the north all the way down to the sea. What I found interesting is where Vietnam sits at the crossroads. China to the north, Laos and Cambodia along the side, and the ocean running almost the entire length of the country. And you can actually feel that mix when you're here, in the food, in the streets, and in how everyday life flows. It definitely feels like there is so much of different influence layered in one country. Vietnam is actually the second biggest coffee producer in the world after Brazil, and I only realized this while I was on my way here googling a few must-knows before landing. Coffee came to Vietnam during the French colonial period, but over the years, Vietnam completely made it its own. They mainly grow Robusta coffee, which is stronger than what most of us are used to. Now, if you're just like me, who don't know there are two kinds of coffees in the world, one is Robusta coffee and the other is Arabica coffee, then I would suggest you to Google this information for further knowledge. इसीलिए वियतनाम में कॉफी पीना एक प्रॉपर एक्सपीरियंस होता है. Coffee isn't just a drink over here, it's part of daily rituals. You'll find coffee literally everywhere and in different flavors, from egg coffee to coconut coffee to salted coffee. हर corner में एक अलग cafe and अलग flavors. And once you start drinking Vietnamese coffee, trust me, normal coffee थोड़ी सी फीकी लगने लगती है. थोड़ी सी नहीं, कुछ ज़्यादा ही फीकी लगने लगती है. One thing you notice very quickly in Vietnam is how diverse it feels. There are 54 ethnic groups with different dialects, different tradition, and even the food changes from one province to another. The main language spoken here is Vietnamese, and it's got a bit of Chinese influence, and though it uses the Latin alphabet, trust me, the pronunciation is a whole different game. For example, pho is the noodle soup we all love to eat, but pho means street. Same letters but totally different meaning. So yeah, one wrong tone and you could be ordering something else completely. English is not spoken widely everywhere, but लोग try बहुत करते हैं. Even with their hand gestures, smiles, Google Translate, they really go out of their way to help you. One thing you'll see everywhere is respect for the ancestors. You'll see this small shrine in all of the homes, shops, even cafes, where they pray while offering some fruits and incense sticks every day before they start their day. It's quiet, personal, and very rooted. After landing in Hanoi, I was super starving and hungry from all-night travel. And when you're hungry in a new country, you really don't want to experiment with your food. You would definitely want to try something comforting. And so I started walking on the streets of Hanoi. I just found a random restaurant, picked up the menu, and suddenly everything was written in thousand. For a second, I thought, did I accidentally walk into an expensive place? But then I just remembered, Vietnam just looks expensive. In reality, it's one of the most affordable countries I've ever traveled to. My first meal here is a steaming bowl of pho ga, which is chicken noodle soup, with some spring rolls, just costed me around 250 Indian rupees. To be honest, it was really simple, comforting, and a perfect welcome meal I could ever think of having. And if there's one thing you'll see everywhere, it's banh mi. Simple, filling, and somehow perfect every single time for all meals across your day. Despite how much Vietnam offers, it still feels so underrated. Many travelers compare it to Thailand or Bali, but Vietnam has completely different rhythm and vibe in my opinion. From mountains to beaches, cafes to lantern town, everything is packed into this long, narrow stretch of land. It's very busy and chaotic, but there's also something very grounding about being here. Right now, my only plan in Hanoi is to walk around, eat, and soak in the vibe of Hanoi city because Hanoi after dark feels so much alive. There's smoky air, glowing street, and tiny stools everywhere just waiting for you to sit and stay a little longer. I don't really know what to expect next, and that's what I love about traveling. In the next episode, we'll explore Hanoi properly, its street, food, and everyday life. And if you want to continue this journey across Vietnam, I'll see you there. Until next time, I'm Mentally Naik signing off. Bye.